class, myself Pooja Verma, Assistant Professor of Babu Banarsidass University and the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. In the previous lecture, as we covered the topic, we are going to start it, our topic loops, and also we study about the loop, importance of the loop and while loop concept, and also follow the nested while loop. So now today we are going to start our next topic, that is for loop. So what is the for loop and what is the importance of the for loop and how it is different compared to the while loop. So first of all, we are going to start the writing style of the for loop. As we see in the while loop, first we have to initialize the loop, then we mention the condition, and also after the condition we go inside the loop, and we can see that inside the loop we can write our number of statement, but at the last of our operation we have to mention that increment or decrement operation also before the closing of that loop. Here also that activity will be performed, but not into the three different line. Here we can perform these three operations into a single line. How? You can see here. We perform the syntax of for loop is something like this, like for loop open bracket, and then you first need to initialize your statements, like your variable by which value you want to perform your condition checking procedure and so on. And after the initialization procedure you have to mention the condition, that means this condition value actually give you the limit from these to this value, you have to perform the operation this. And the third portion is known as the increment and decrement portion, and this will be performed after each statement performance. Like first we need to initialize, then we need to go to the condition, and after the condition value is true we inside our loop, and after the after the over of this statement we need to increment and decrement, and after the increment and decrement operation we again need to check the condition for the updated increment and decrement value, and after the condition again check, we again we enter into the loop, and so on. In this manner we can perform our operation. When comes outside of this loop, when after performing the increment and decrement our condition will make false. So what will be happen here? We go to the other statement. So this working procedure will understand with the help of flow charts. How this operation actually performed here, you can see here. First we need to write our starting statement, then inside into the loop first you need to initialize, then after the initializing you need to go to the condition, and after the condition you perform your loop. If your condition is true, then you go inside your inner loop, inside the loop enter into the loop, whatever the action you want to perform here you need to perform here, and after that what you need to perform the increment and decrement. So again I am repeat these concept into the topic wise, terms wise, like step 1, step 2 and step 3. Please listen again. Our step 1 is initialize the loop, step 2 check the condition, if the condition is true go inside the loop, step 3 increment and decrement, step 4 again check the condition, step 5 inside the loop, again increment and decrement, check the condition inside the loop, and you can now see it. There are some kind of looping is created. Okay, condition checking, work, increment decrement, condition checking, work, increment and decrement, and so on. Okay, so in this manner you can see how you create a loop. You can see with the help of your flow chart as we show you. If your condition is false, so where we have to go? You go to the outside of the loop, that is represented here other statement, and now in this manner you can stop your for loop. So how it actually works we can understand with the help of very small program, very small concept, like to print the number from 1 to 10 using the for loop. So please look at here. what I actually want, I want to print number from 1 to 10. Okay. So as in the case of the while loop, I also told you that we know we can perform this value from 1 to 10 by help of I, j, k, l, m, r, a, b, c, d into till 10th variable, and into the one variable we can store one value, and with the help of printf and scanf function we can call it directly also. But for that we need to write the printf and scanf function for the 10 times. Okay, but I want to perform that number of multiple times. If that work are similar times, then we need to perform that work with the help of the for loop. So what actually we need to do here? We need to do here only declare a variable I, and you can start the initialization here also, and you can also mention that here only. Okay, if you declare here only int I semicolon, then you can just write for loop I is equal to 1. Why I write the 1? Because it want to perform the from 1 to 10. If it want to perform the print the value from the 5 to 10, so what I have to be written here? I have to write here I is equal to 5, because I want to initialize print our number from 5. If we want to print from number 9, then I have to mention the initialization of the I variable with the help of the number 9 only. Okay, so don't confuse what value comes under here in the initialization phase. Whatever you want from starting value, whatever you want to start to print your result, you just start your starting point and declare that in starting point into the initialization phase. And in the case of the condition, you just put your limit till which number, till how many number of times you want to perform. You just write that value into the conditional statement, that is I less than or equal to 10. Why I write the less than or equal to 10? Because they here with the help of the equal to 10 is included. I want to print the 10 also. If here mention 10 and if I write here 11, so what operation will be used here? Here I can use only I less than 11, not I less than equal to 11. If I write the I less to the 11, then it also similar to the I less than equal to 10. And now I plus plus with the help of increment. Why I use the increment? Because I am going to write from 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, and till so on, till number 10. So as see the pattern 1, 2, 3 and so what we can see? We see that each and every next value will be come from the previous value by addition of one number only. So that means the value is incremented by 1 into the previous value to get the new value. So calling of the loop is will be called with the help of for loop. We can write only the one line and just print the number of I. So what is actually happen here? I is equal to 1, I less than 10, yes, you print the number 1. Okay, again you perform the I is equal to I plus plus, that means plus 1, that means I is equal to 2, 2 less than 10, yes, you need to perform and print the value 2, 2 is printed here. Again I plus plus, that means value is equal to 3, 3 is less than 10, yes, you need to print that value, that means I is equal to 3 is printed here with the help of this printf function. And again I is equal to 4 and 4 is less than 10 and so on, and this loop will be run 10 times to print this number. And again when we get the I is equal to 10, 10 less than is equal to 10, yes, the number 10 is printed. What will be happen in the next increment and decrement? We get I is equal to I plus 1, that means 10 plus 1, that means value will be 11. So what is your next value is 11. And now again when we go to the check our condition, 11 less than equal to 10. So what we get? We get here the value is equal to false. And when we get the false, we get to the get statement. Okay. So in such manner you get the output of that particular program. Now the second program is I am going to write a program in C to print the Fibonacci series using the for loop. So I also discussed the methodology, the phenomena behind use of the Fibonacci series and how it is working and what is the concept of the Fibonacci series, how we get the next value with the help of previous two value, like here 0 and 1 is the initialization phase, and after get the third value with the help of 0 plus 1, and after get the fourth value with the help of second plus third value, and fifth value is the addition of the third and fourth value and so on. For example, 2 is the addition of 1 plus 1, 3 the addition of the 1 plus 2, 5 is the addition of the 2 plus 3 and so on. In such a manner we get the Fibonacci series. As we are going to write the for loop, so what actually happened here, all the program will be similar from initialization to the till the loop. All the program is similar to the while loop. Like first we need to initialize some variables to store the two variables like 0 and 1, and I also initialize this value 0 and 1 because 0 and 1 is the initialization of the Fibonacci series, that is predefined, and if it is predefined then you have to be the initialize that variable which are predefined. So I am using here two variables to predefine value 0 and 1. To store 0 and 1 we use two variables a and b, and c is just used for the addition, perform the addition over the two variables to store the next value, and number is basically used to perform the number of times, or you can use also the your next number, your coming number is less than particularly of that number. For example, in the above sequence we get 13, that means our number is less than equal to 13 or less than 14. Okay, so I am going to using this concept that I want to print the Fibonacci series till less than that number, not till number of these terms. I am going to use to print the Fibonacci series to perform that operation till less than that number. So I am going to use the number variable over here. First of all I want to take the number till less than you want to print the Fibonacci series. So I get the number from the user, and user store that number into the variable num with the help of printf and scanf function. And now I am going to write, first of all, as we can see here the Fibonacci series is already printed 0 and 1, and then our operation will be basically performed from this portion, that means 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13 and so on. So this value is already printed and not in the loop. Why? Because if I write this printf into the loop, then again and again after each C operation in the sense after the each addition, again and again we perform the 0 and 1 printf of 0 and 1. But I want to print the 0 and 1 only one time and also into the initial phase. So we need to perform this C, A and B. The printf of A and B will be before the starting of the loop. In the loop, now we are going to initialize our C, that means our third function, third value with the help of A plus B, and I am going to check the A plus B, that means addition of the last two number is greater than the limit of the user. If it is less than equal to limit of user, then we need to perform first of all we need to print that calculated value, and again we need to swap off two value, because for the third we need to perform the addition over the first and second, for the fourth we need to perform the second and fourth. And why I am going to swapping here value of A by B and B by C, because I am told you already in the case of the while loop. And after getting this I am again going to update our value of C is equal to A plus B, and again if our new value of C, A plus B is less than the condition, then we need to print that value, and again we perform the assignment of the B value to the A and assignment of the C value into the B, and again we need to perform the addition of the A plus B, that means last two previous number into the C, store that number into the C and check the store that number with the help of the limit, and perform this operation in such a loop manner until and unless your condition is contradicted, and so on. Here our user enter the limit is 21. So 0 and 1 is printed by the help of the printf of A and B, and 1 is printed with the help of the C is equal to A plus B less than equal to 21. Yes, so we need to print the printf of that line. So here print the 1 and A is equal to B, B is equal to C, that means A is equal to now updated by 1 and B is equal to also 1. So A is equal to 1 and B is equal to 1, so what we get, C is equal to 2 and 2 is less than equal to 21. So we go to the printf. So what value is printed here? 2. So now you can see here 2 is printed, and again now 2 is printed. So again we need to swap that A and B by B and C, that means into the A value is 1, into the b the value is 2, and now c is equal to what? 1 plus 2. So 1 plus 2, that means c is equal to 3, and c is equal to 3 is less than 21. Yes, if c is equal to less than 3, then print that value. Then c is printed here, and again now 2 and 3. Now 2 and 3 will be stored into by with the help of variable a and b, and then after that a is equal to 2 and b is equal to 3, and after that again from the sum of a plus b and store that value into the c, that means c is equal to 2 plus 3. Look here into the loop, c is equal to 2 plus 3, then value of c is equal to 5, and 5 is less than 21. Yes, then 5 is printed here. Again b and c will be assigned to the a and b variable. What is the value of b? B is equal to 3 and c is equal to what you get here? Here you get the 5. So c is equal to 5 is assigned to the b. So here is 3, here is 5. So what is the value of a? A is equal to 3, b is equal to 5. And in such a manner, you can perform this operation until unless this condition is true. And the last program to get the factorial of a number using the for loop. What is the meaning of the factorial number? As we can see that the factorial of a number is basically performing the multiplication of that number in the decrement order till the number 1. Like I want to calculate the factorial of the 5 number. So actually in mathematical logic behind this factorial of a number is equivalent to the 5 multiplied by the 4 multiplied by the number 3, then 2, and then till number 1. So what we can see, in general we can say that the factorial of n is equal to n multiplied by n minus 1 multiplied by n minus 2 until so on till 3, 2, 1. Okay, so first of all we need to accept the number from the user and assign that number into the variable, and also initialize another variable by 1. Why 1? Because actual your number is multiplied by 1, then increment of that variable, then incremented of that variable, apply over that and that and that and so on till which limit? Till that number you accepted from the user. That means what? Actually the mathematically you perform the operation from left to right, but logically here I am going to perform our operation from 1 multiplied by that variable, incremented variable, like if I store the 1 into the I, okay, and n, that's whatever the number you want to print the factorial number, like n is equal to 6. Okay, please again listen carefully. I want to print the factorial of number 6. Then 6 is stored into the n, and I use the another variable to store the variable 1. Here look at here, first you need to initialize two variable, one variable to use the number and another variable to store the initialized by 1. The variable which you used to initialize value 1 is basically perform here the main operation. How? The initialized variable 1 I, and into the second iteration you multiply that I with the incremented value of I. So I is 1, incremented value of I is equal to what? 2. Now the updated value of I is what? 2. And in the second iteration again you go to the perform the overall resultant value is multiplied by increment value of I. So increment value of I is what? Is 3. And until unless how many number of times you need to perform the incremented number of I multiplied by the previous resultant of I is until unless your I is equivalent to the number which is basically accepted by the user. Okay, so now you can check our logic. And second method, this is the first method, and the second method you can also write your program in such manner, like mathematically manner, like 5, then I want to multiply the 5 multiplied by the number minus 1, then I am going to multiply our resultant value by number minus 2, then again I am going to multiply our number by number minus 3, and so on. So look at here what actually I am used here. I am going to use the number basically used to number. For that you want to calculate the factorial. I is basically used to initialize your value, and product is basically used to multiply say the multiplication in the recursive manner. Recursive manner, that means recall of manner, that means product multiplied by I. As you know, whenever we are going to multiply any number by the number 1, then your resultant value will be never change. So in the case of the multiplication and division, you used initialization 1. In the case of the subtraction and the division, subtraction and the addition, you use the number 0. Why? Because if any number is multiplied and divided by 1, the resultant value doesn't change, and if any number is subtract or addition by value 0, then resultant value is never change. Okay, so first of all I am going to accept the number from the user and store that value into the num variable. I am going to start our for loop for I is equal to number. That means what? I take a variable I and store the number whatever the user entered here, and I check the I is greater than or equal to 1. Why I am going to check the I is greater than or equal to 1? Because I am not going to multiply 1 by multiply by 0, multiply by minus 1, multiply by minus 2, because this is our limit from 5 to 1. If I want to calculate the factorial of number 6, then I am writing the 6 multiply by 4 until 1. So till 1 you need to multiply your number. Okay, so that only you need to check I is unless equivalent to the 1, and here I am going to perform the decrement operation because I want to perform the program logic into the left to right manner. That means 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3. So what is you actually notice here? You notice here that 4 is basically the decrement value of that value. 3 is basically the here what? 3 is basically the decremented value of this number, and so on. So I am here in the case of the for loop I am using the decremented variable. So now here product is equal to product plus multiply by I. So just take for example a number is equal to 3. Just take a simple example, number is equal to 3. So I is equal to 3. 3 is greater than 1. Yes, inside the loop product is equal to 1 multiply by I is equal to what? 3. So 3. So what is the updated value of the product? The updated value of the product is equal to 3. Now I am want to outside of the loop. So what it told? It told us no, you have to be again perform this operation and check the condition. Unless you false me, you can't go outside of this loop. So I am going to check this for this I minus minus. So I is equal to 3. Now after performing the I minus minus, what is the value of I? I is equal to 2. 2 greater than or equal to 1? Yes. So again I am going to here. So it told us product multiply by I. So what is the updated value of the product in the last step? We get the updated value of the product is equal to 3. Now 3 is I multiplied by I, and what is the value of I updated? I is equivalent to the 2. So 3 multiplied by 2. That means 3 multiplied by 2 is the updated value of the product. Note that. What is the updated value of the product each and every time? So now the updated value of the product variable is 3 multiplied by 2. Again it want to move side of the loop. So it told us no, perform this I minus minus. So I updated value is now becomes the 1. 1 less than equal to greater than equal to 1? Yes. Again I am going here. So what is the updated value of the product? 3 star 2. Then now here you use the 3 star 2 star I is equal to 1. So 3 star 2 star I, that means 1. So you get the product value is equal to 3 star 2 star 1. Again it want to move side of the loop, move out the loop. So it told us perform this. So now 1 minus 1, that means 0. And 0 is greater than 1? No. So we need to perform this operation, that means printf. And here we need to print that factorial of the number of percentile d is percentile d. That means number and product. Number, that means your number 3. Each percentile d, that means product value. What is the product value? 3 star 2 star 1, that means 3 into 2, that means 6. 6 into 1, that means value finally 6. So you get the factorial of number 3 is equal to 6. Here for example I have taken the value number 7, and then factorial of number 7 is equivalent to the 50 40. Similarly as in the case of the while loop, I am going to perform the sum of digit of number, any number. Here similarly I am going to calculate the sum of square of from 1 to 10. Sum of square of from 1 to 10 you can easily get, that means what? Like from 1 to 10. 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square plus 4 square. That means you need to just look at the pattern. 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square. Each and every time your number will be incremented by 1 and perform the operation over that. So I am going to start our loop from 1 because I want to perform the sum of number of starting from 1 to 10 only. So 1 and the limit is 10, and I plus plus is basically used to perform the incremented from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, to 3 to 4, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and so on. Sum is basically here initialized by the 0. Why? I already told you in the previous example also. So 0 plus I initial value is what? 1 star 1. Why I used here 1 star 1? Because I want to perform the square operation. 1 plus 1, 1 star 1, that means 1 square. And again the same value of sum is equal to equivalent to the 1 square. Again I plus plus, that means 2. 2 is less than 10. Yes. 1 square plus 2 star 2, that means 1 square plus 2 square. Again 3, then 3 less than 10. Yes. So sum value is what? 1 square plus 2 square, and then plus now value is 3. So 3 star 3, that means 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square. In such a manner you calculate till 10 square, and then resultant value will be calculated with the help of printf function. Sum is equal to percentile d comma sum, that means the resultant value of the 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square and so on will be printed here. And what is the output of that program is 385. So at last we are going to also perform the some type of the pattern program, because this is the most important program for your course, that to print the some types of the pattern given here. For example, here a right angle triangle is given into the reverse order. That means in the first row, if you just inverse of the right angle triangle, here just look at here, inverted right angle triangle. Also the question will be asked a right angle triangle, not inverted, only right angle triangle. But this question is inverted right angle triangle. That means just opposite of the right angle. Okay, in this case you just look at here, in the first row you need to perform 5 times star, in the second you need to perform 4, then third times, fourth 2 times, and fifth 1 times. You just look at here, if you draw the matrix format, so you get actual the number of row is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and what is the number of column? 3, 4, 5, total 5 number of row and 5 number of column. So I am going to start declare 2 variables. One is basically used to store the number of row, and another is basically used to store the number of column. Okay, so first is basically I am going to start to type to initialize our number of row and columns. I is basically starting from the 5, I greater than or equal to 1, I minus from number 5 to 1, and j is basically used from j is equal to 1 to till I. If I is equal to 5, then j is moving from where? From 1 to 5. If I is equal to 4, then j is basically moving from 1 to 4. When I is equal to 3, then j is basically moving from 1 to 3. If I is equal to 2, then j is basically moving from 1 to 2. And if I is equal to 1, then j is moving from 1 to 1. So just look at here. What is the pattern? When I is equal to 5, that means iteration I is equal to 5, then j moving from 1 to 3, 4, 5 times. And when j moved for 5 number of iteration, and here you need to print the star 5. After printing the 5 number of star, you just change your line. Okay, after changing your line, you perform the decrement, and updated value of I will become the 4. You get the I is equal to 4, that means into the second row, and then when you get the second row, you just perform the star from 1, 2, 3, 4. Just look at here also. In the case of j, now when I is equal to 4, j is equal to 1 to 4. So you get the 4 places to print the star. Okay. Again, after placing the 4 star, you need to change your line according to your pattern. After performing the 4 star, you need to change your line here. So you comes over the here. After here, you need to print your star for only 3 times. So just look at here, your loop j. J is equal to 1 to I value is updated here by 3. Then you get the j is equal to 1 to 3. So in this manner you print your pattern and so on. Similarly, this question is also performing here in the manner of the right angle triangle. Just only one change in the case of the I loop. Just look at here. I is starting from 5 to 1. Here I is moving from 1 to 5 because when I is equal to 1, j is equal to 1. When I is equal to 2, j is equal to 1 to 2. If I is equal to 3, then j is equal to 1 to 3. If I is equal to 4, then j is equal to 1 to 4. I is equal to 5, then j also print the number 5. So in such a manner you print their value. And what value basically printed, you need to decide. Only 2 points will be changed in your pattern question. Your manner, your writing style of the for loop for the number of row, and your writing style of this. That means what type of the content you need to perform into your pattern. Right here I want to perform the I. Why I want to perform the I here? Because according to the number of 1, 2, 3, 4, that means row number is basically printed here. When I am into the first row, then I just print the first. When I am going to the second row, 2 times I want to print the 2. When I am going into the third row, 3 times I need to print the number 3. When I am going to the third row, then fourth row, then I need to print the 4 numbers till the 4 times. Okay, then number of times is basically calculated for the with the help of j, and at this position is calculated with the help of I. Okay, so I am here used to print here. Use basically I need to print here I, that means number of row, which number of row is basically I am placed here also. And after printing this one value, I need to change our line because as per our pattern is what? After printing the 1, for the second row you need to change your line also. Okay, 2 is printing into the second row, 3 is printing into the third row. So after performing the one print operation, you need to change your line also. So please look the program again and type your program onto the compiler of C compiler, and also check your output. And if you face any kind of the problem, then please comment your question into the comment box, and I will be happy to resolve your problem. Thank you class. Have a good day.